What, Essie?
I said the kitchen's awful hot. That new candy I'm making, it just won't ever get cool.
Do you have to make candy today, Essie? It's such a hot day.
Well, I got a bunch of new orders. Ed went out and got a bunch more.
My, if it keeps on, I suppose you'll be opening up a store.
That's what Ed was saying last night. But I said no. I want to be a dancer.
The only trouble with dancing is it takes so long. You've been dancing such a long time.
Only 8 years. Besides, Mother, you've been writing plays for 8 years. We started about the same time, didn't we?
Yes, but you shouldn't count my first 2 years because I was really tight.
I think the candy's hardening up now, Miss Essie.
Oh, thanks, Rheba. I'll bring some in, Mother. I want you to try it.
Finish the second act, Mrs. Sycamore?
What, Rheba?
Did you finish the second act?
Oh, no, Rheba. I've just got Cynthia entering the monastery.
She was at the Kit Kat, wasn't she?
Well, yes, but she gets tired of the Kit Kat Club, and there's this monastery. So she goes there.
Did they let her in?
Oh, yes, of course. I made it to Visitor's Day, so of course anyone can come.
Oh.
So she arrives on Visitor's Day and just stays.
You mean she stays all night?
Oh, yes. She stays 6 years.
6 years? My, I'll bet she busts that monastery wide open.
6 years later?
Mr. Depinna? Yeah? Mr. Depinna, will you bring up that new sky rocket, please? I want to show it to Mrs. Sycamore.
Oh, sure.
Look, Penny. What do you think of these little firecrackers we just made up? We can sell them 10 for a cent. Listen. Nice, huh?
Oh, yes. Paul, dear, were you ever in a monastery?
No, I wasn't. Wait till you see the new rocket. It's got gold stars and blue stars and a bomb and then a balloon. Mr. Depinna thought of the balloon.
Oh, that sounds lovely. Did you do all that today?
Oh, sure. We made up a... Oh, here we are. Look, Penny. Cost us 18 cents to make, and we can sell them for 50. How many do you suppose we can make before the 4th of July, Mr. Depinna?
Well, we've got 2 weeks yet. Hey, when did you say you were going to take this stuff up to Mount Vernon?
About a week. You know, we're gonna need a larger booth this year. Got a lot of stuff made up. Come on. We're not through yet.
Sure. Whoa, Mr. Sycamore, I'm afraid that the powder chamber is just a bit close to the balloon.
Well, we got the bombs and the stars in between.
But that don't give the balloon enough time. A balloon needs plenty of time.
Oh, come on. Let's go down to the cellar and try it.
All right.
Mr. Depinna, if a girl you loved entered a monastery, what would you do?
Well, I don't know, Mrs. Sycamore. It's just been so long.
Miss Alice gonna be home to dinner tonight, Mrs. Sycamore?
What? I don't know, Rheba.
Well, she's only been home one night this week.
Yes, I know.
Miss Essie's doing something mighty nice with her candy today. Something new with coconuts.
Mm-hmm. That's nice.
Let's see. 6, Mr. Depinna. If Kolenkhof comes, that makes 8, doesn't it? Yeah, I bet it's definitely 8.
Rheba, I think I'll put this play away for a while and go back to the war play.
Oh, I always liked that one. The war plays.
Boom! Boom, boom!
They'll be better when they're harder, Mother. But try one. I want to know what you think.
Oh, they look lovely! What do you call them?
I think I'll call them love dreams.
Oh, isn't that nice? Oh, I'm going back to the war play, Essie. What do you think?
Oh, are you, Mother?
Yes, it seems I've gotten myself into a monastery and I can't get out.
Oh, well, it'll come to you, Mother. Remember how you got out of that brothel? The snakes look hungry. Did Rheba feed them?
I don't know. Rheba, did you feed the snakes yet?
No, Donald always brings flies with him.
Oh, well, just be sure to do it before Grandpa gets home. You know how fussy he is about them.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, and here, take Harpo into the kitchen, please. I believe I'll have another love dream.
Mr. Depinna was right about the balloon. It was too close to the powder.
Want a love dream, Father? Mother has them.
Oh, no thanks. I gotta wash.
I'm going back to the war play, Paul.
That's nice. We're gonna put some red stars after the bombs and then the balloon. That ought to do it.
You know, Mr. Kolenkhof says I'm his most promising pupil.
You think with 40 monks and 1 girl that something will happen.
Listen, Essie. Listen to this a minute.
Lovely. Got a lot of you in it. I made those new candies this afternoon, Ed.
Yeah?
You can take them around tonight.
All right, now here's the finish. This is me. How's that?
That's fine, Ed. Remember it when Kolenkhof comes, will you?
Ed, why don't you and Essie have a baby? I was thinking about it just the other day.
I don't know. We could have one if you wanted us to. How about it, Essie? Do you want to have a baby?
Oh, I don't care. I'm willing if Grandpa is.
Let's ask him.
Labor play, religious play, sex play. I know it's here someplace.
I was right about the balloon. It was way too close to the powder.
Anything you want printed, Mr. Depinna? How about some more of those calling cards?
Oh, no, thanks. I still have the first 1,000.
Call on somebody, will you?
All right.
What do we got for dinner tonight, Rheba? I'm ready to print the menu.
Let's see. Cornflakes, watermelon, some of those new candies Miss Essie made, and some kind of meat. I forget.
I think I'll set it up in bold-faced Cheltenham tonight. You know, if I'm going to take those new candies around after dinner, I better print up some descriptive matter.
Do you think anybody reads those things, Ed? That you put in the candy boxes? Oh, here it is. The war play. Poison gas. Oh, that must be Donald. Oh, look at Rheba smile.
The boyfriend, eh, Rheba?
Oh, they're awfully cute, Donald and Rheba. Sort of like Sky and Sarah.
Hello, Rheba.
Donald!
Evening, everybody.
Evening, Donald. How have you been?
I've been good, Mr. Ed. How you been, Mrs. Sycamore?
Oh, very well. Donald,
Yes, ma'am?
were you ever in a monastery?
No, I don't go anywhere much. I'm on relief.
Ah, yes. Of course.
Here's the flies, Rheba. Caught a whole mess of them today.
Sure did.
I see you've been working, Mrs. Sycamore.
Yes, indeed, Donald.
How's Grandpa?
Very well. He's over at Columbia this afternoon for commencement exercises.
My. The years sure do roll them around.
What's he going there for all the time, Penny?
I don't know. Just so handy, it's just around the corner.
Oh, Donald. Mr. Depinna and I are going to take the fireworks up to Mount Vernon next week. Want to give us a hand?
Yes, sir.
Good man. Ed, I got a wonderful idea in the bathroom just now. I was reading Trusky. It's yours, isn't it?
Yeah, I left it there.
Who is it?
You know, Trusky. The Russian Revolution.
Oh.
Well, it struck me. It was a great fireworks idea. Remember the last days of Pompeii?
Oh, yes. Palisades Park. Boom, 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 boom. That's where we met.
Anyhow, I'm going to do the revolution. A full-hour display.
Say,
Oh, Paul, that's wonderful.
The red fire's the flag, huh?
Sure, and the Tsar and the Cossacks.
and the Declaration of Independence.
No, Donald, the Russian Revolution. Hello, Grandpa.
Well, sir, you should have been there. That's all I can say. You should have been there.
Was it a nice commencement, Grandpa?
Oh, wonderful. They get better every year. Oh, you just don't know how lucky you are that you're snakes.
Big class this year, Grandpa? How many were there?
Oh, must have been 2 acres. Everybody graduated. Yes, sir. And much funnier speeches than they had last year.
You want to listen to a good speech? You go in here, Father Divine.
I'll wait. They'll have him at Columbia.
Donald, will you tell Reba that Grandpa's home and we won't wait for Miss Alice?
Yes, ma'am. Reba, Grandpa's home. We can have dinner.
We made a new skyrocket today, Grandpa. Wait till you see it.
Oh, evening, Grandpa. Evening, Mr. Depinna.
Didn't we make a fine skyrocket today, Mr. Depinna?
Oh, we sure did.
Wonder why they don't have fireworks at commencements.
Well, they're not loud enough. You take a good commencement orator, and he'll drown out a whole carload of them. And say just about as much, too.
Don't the graduates ever say anything?
No. They just sit there and cap a nightgown, get their diplomas, and all along about 40 years from now, they suddenly say, "Where am I?"
Hello, Grandpa. Have a nice day.
Hello, have a nice day. Don't I even get kissed?
Excuse me, Grandpa.
I'll take a tomato, too. I could have used a couple of these this afternoon.
Father?
No thanks.
Mother?
No thanks, dear.
Play something, Ed.
There was a letter that came for you, Grandpa. Did you get it?
What? I don't know anybody.
It was for you, though. Had your name on it.
That's funny. Where is it?
I don't know. Where's the letter that came for Grandpa, Mother?
What, dear?
Where's the letter that came for Grandpa last week?
I don't know. I remember seeing the goldfish on it.
Well, Who was it from? Did you notice?
Yes, it was on the outside.
Well, what did it say?
The United States government.
Oh, wonder what they wanted.
There was one before that, too. There was a couple of them, from the same people.
Well, if you get any more, I'd wish you'd give them to me.
Yes, Grandpa.
I think I'll go out to Westchester tomorrow and do a little snake hunting.
God is the state is God.
Now, what's that?
God is the state is God.
Yes, but who says that?
Trotsky.
Oh, that's all right. I thought you said it.
It's nice for printing, you know, but good and short. G-O-D space I-S space T-H.
And so the beautiful princess came into the palace and kissed her mother, and her father, and her grandfather.
Oh, hello, darling.
Hello, Grandpa. And what do you think? They turned into the Sycamore family. Surprised.
Oh, Alice, I like it.
Do you?
It's new, isn't it?
Looks nice and summery.
Where did you get it?
I went for a walk during lunch hour.
You've been taking a lot of walks lately. That's your second new dress this week.
Well, I like to freshen up the office once in a while. I'm known as the K. Francis at Kirby and Co. Anyway, well, what's going on around here? In the ways of snakes, plays, ballet dancing, or fireworks? Father, I bet you've been down in that cellar all day.
Huh?
I'm going back to the war, play ass. Really, Mother?
Oh, Ed, play Alice that Beethoven thing you wrote.
You know you can mail a letter all the way to Nicaragua for only 2 pesetas?
Oh, really?
Kenneth, my virginity is a priceless thing to me. Oh, listen, people, listen. I'm not home to dinner. A young gentleman is calling for me.
Really? Who is it?
Well, isn't that nice? Yes, I did everything possible to keep him from coming, but he's calling for me. Why don't you both stay to dinner? Oh, no. I want him to take you in easy doses. I've tried my best to prepare him a little, but don't make it any worse than you can help. Oh, don't read him any plays, Mother, and don't let a snake bite him, Grandpa, because I like him. And Essie, I wouldn't dance for him because we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet tonight.
Can't do anything? Who is he? President of the United States?
No, he's Vice President of Kirby and Co., Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.
The boss's son?
Wow! The boss's son, just like the movies.
That explains the new dresses.
And not being home to dinner for 3 weeks.
Why, Sherlock Holmes? Are you going to marry him? Yes, of course. Tonight, right after I go up and put on my wedding gown.
Is he good looking?
Yes, in a word. Oh, dear, what time is it? I don't know. Anybody know what time it is?
Mr. Depinna might know.
Oh, it was 5 o'clock a couple hours ago.
Oh, I ought to know better than to ask you people. Mother, will you tell me the minute he comes in, please? Of course, dear. Yes, I know, but I mean the minute he comes in. Why, of course. Well, be sure. Well, what do you think of that?
She seems to like him, if you ask me.
I should say so. She's got it bad.
Wouldn't it be wonderful if she married him? We could have the wedding right in this room.
Now, wait a minute, Penny. This is the first time he's ever called for the girl.
You only called for me once.
Young people are different nowadays.
Oh, I don't know. Look at Ed and me. He came to dinner once and just stayed.
Anyhow, I think it's wonderful. Don't you, Grandpa?
She certainly seems happy.
I bet that's who's taking her out for dinner every night. That must be him. Oh, never mind, Rheba. I'll answer it.
All right, let's take a good look at him.
Remember what Alice said? Very nice to him. Well, welcome to our little home.
How do you do?
I'm Alice's mother, and this is Alice's father, and Grandpa, and Alice's sister, and her husband, Essie Carmichael. Now give me your hat and make yourself right at home.
I'm afraid you must be making a mistake.
How's that?
My card.
Wilbur C. Henderson, Internal Revenue Department.
That's right.
How may we help you?
Does a Mr. Martin Vanderhof live here?
Oh, yes, sir. That's me.
Well, Mr. Vanderhof, the government wants to talk to you about a little matter of income tax.
Income tax?
Do you mind if I sit down?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
Mr. Sycamore,
What is it?
excuse me, these things, they're just not going up. Look.
Oh, not here, Mr. Depinna. Grandpa's busy.
Oh.
Pardon.
Now, Mr. Vanderhof, we've written you several letters about this, but have not had any reply.
Ah, that's what those letters were about.
I told you they were from the government.
Yes, according to our records, you have never paid an income tax.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Why not?
I don't believe in it.
Well, you own property, don't you?
Yes,
And you receive a yearly income from it
I do.
of between $3,000 and $4,000.
About that.
You've been receiving it for years.
From 1901, if you'd like the exact date.
Well, the government is only concerned from 1914 on. That's when the income tax started.
Oh, wait a minute. You can't go back that far. That's outlawed.
What's your name?
What difference does it make?
Ever file an income tax?
No, sir.
What was your income last year?
$28.50. Wasn't it, Essie?
Yes, sir.
If you please. Now, Mr. Vanderhof, you know there's quite a penalty for not paying an income tax.
Penalty?
Look, Mr. Henderson, let me ask you something.
Well,
Suppose I pay you this income tax. Mind you, I don't say I'm going to pay it, but just for the sake of argument, what's the government going to do with it?
how do you mean?
Oh, what's the government going to do with the money? Say, if I go into a Macy's and buy something, well, there it is. I can see it. What's the government going to give me?
Why, the government gives you everything. It protects you.
What from?
Well, invasion. Foreigners that might come over here and take everything you've got.
I don't think they're going to do that.
If you didn't pay an income tax, they would. How do you think the government keeps up the army and the navy? All those battleships.
The last time we used battleships was in the Spanish-American War. And what did we get out of that? Cuba. And we gave that back. I wouldn't mind paying if it were something sensible.
Sensible? Well, what about Congress? And the Supreme Court and the President? We've got to pay them, don't we?
Not with my money, no sir.
Now, wait a minute. I'm not here to argue with you. All I know is that you haven't paid an income tax, and you've got to pay it.
They've got to show me.
We don't have to show you. I just told you. All those buildings down in Washington, and interstate commerce, and the Constitution.
Now, the Constitution was paid for long ago. And interstate commerce... What is interstate commerce anyhow?
There are 48 states, see? And if it weren't for interstate commerce, nothing could go from one state to another, see?
Well, why not? They got fences?
No, they haven't got fences. They've got laws. God, I've never come across anything like this before.
What's with this, Essie?
Well, I might pay about $75, but that's all it's worth.
You'll pay every cent of it, like everyone else. And let me tell you something else. You'll go to jail if you don't pay. Do you hear? That's the law. And if you think you're bigger than the law, then you've got another thing coming. You're no better than anyone else, and the sooner you get that through your head, the better. You'll be hearing from the United States government. That's all I can say.
Look out for those snakes.
Jesus!
How was that?
That's fine, Ed.
How did that sound to you folks?
I liked it.
My goodness, he was mad, wasn't he?
Well, sure. But it's not his fault. It's just the whole thing is just so silly.
Oh, he forgot his hat.
Say, what size is it?
7 and an 8.
Just right for me.
Who was that anyway?
Oh, this must be Mr. Kirby.
You better make sure this time.
Yes, I will.
I hope he's good looking.
How do you do?
Good evening.
Is this Mr. Anthony Kirby Jr.?
Yes?
Oh, come right in. We've been expecting you to come in. I'm Alice's mother, and this is Mr. Sycamore, and this is Grandpa, and Alice's sister Essie and her husband Ed. Now, give me your hat and make yourself right at home.
Thank you.
Oh, would you sit down?
Is that Mr. Kirby?
Oh, it is. He's lovely. Please, sit down. I'll
Thank
be
you.
right down.
I hope I'm not keeping you from dinner.
Oh, no. Have a tomato.
No, thank you.
How about a piece of candy?
No thanks.
Oh, I forgot to introduce Mr. Depinna. This is Mr. Depinna, Mr. Kirby.
Say, didn't I read something about your father in the newspaper? Oh, wasn't he indicted or something?
Oh, hardly that. He just testified before the Securities Commission.
I'm sure there was nothing crooked about it, Mr. Depinna. In fact, Alice has often told us what a lovely man your father is.
Oh, I know Father couldn't get along without Alice. She knows more about the business than any of us.
You're awfully young, Mr. Kirby, to be vice president of a big place like that.
Well, you know what that means, Vice President. All I have is a desk with my name on it.
Is that all? Don't you get any salary?
A little bit. More than I'm worth, I'm afraid.
Oh, now you're just being modest.
Seems kind of dull to me, Wall Street. Do you like it?
Well, the hours are short. And I haven't been there very long.
Just out of college, huh?
Well, I knocked around for a while first. Just sort of had fun.
Do anything? Travel?
For a while. Then I went to Cambridge for a year.
Ah, England.
That's right.
Say, what's an English commencement like? Did you see any?
Oh, very impressive.
Oh, they are, huh?
Anyhow, now the fun's over and I'm facing the world.
So now, I suppose you're all ready to settle down and get married?
Come now, Penny. I'm sure Mr. Kirby knows his own mind.
No, I wasn't making up his mind for him. Was I, Mr. Kirby?
It's quite all right, Mrs. Sycamore.
You see?
You mustn't rush him, Mother.
All I'm saying is that he's bound to get married, and suppose the wrong girl gets him.
Here I am, a vision in blue. Oh, seems you've had time to get acquainted.
Yes, we were just having a delightful talk about love and marriage.
Oh dear. I'm sorry, I came down as fast as I could.
Oh, I didn't mind in the least.
Damn those flies. Oh, Miss Alice, don't you look lovely?
Thank you, Rheba.
Where are you going?
Just going out, Rheba.
Stepping out, huh?
That must be Mr. Kolenkhof.
We better go, Tony.
Grandpa, do you take cream on your cornflakes?
Half and half, Donald.
Ah, my little Robishka.
Mr. Kolenkhof.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
Grandpa, what do you think? I have had a letter from Russia. The second 5-year plan is a failure.
I practiced today, Mr. Kolenkhof.
Oh, my Pavlova.
Excuse me, Mr.
Ah, my little Alice. Never have I seen you look so magnificent. Mwah.
Thank you. Tony, this is Mr. Kolenkhof, Essie's dancing teacher. Mr. Kirby.
No, how do you do?
No, how do you do? Mwah, mwah. Ah.
Pardon us, Mr. Kolenkhof, but we're going to the Monte Carlo Ballet tonight.
The Monte Carlo Ballet? It stinks.
Yes, well. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
So long.
Goodbye. It's so glad to have met you all.
Oh, goodbye.
Monte Carlo Ballet.
Oh, isn't Mr. Kirby lovely? Oh, well, come on, everybody. I think Rheba said dinner's ready.
I thought he was a nice fellow, didn't you?
And so good looking.
Oh, and he had such nice manners. Did you notice, Paul? Did you notice his manners?
I certainly did. You were getting pretty personal with him.
Oh, now, Paul. Anyway, he's a very nice young man.
Yeah, you know, I think he reminds me of a cousin of mine.
Boxed, Diaghilev. Then you had a ballet.
I think if they get married here, I'll put the altar right where the snakes are. You won't mind, would you, Grandpa?
Not if the snakes don't.
Well, they'll want to get married in a church, knowing his family and everything.
Of course. Quiet. Everybody quiet. Well, sir, we've been getting along pretty good for quite a while now, and we're much obliged. Remember, all we ask is just to be happy and go along in our own sort of way. Of course, we'd like to keep our health, but as far as anything else is concerned, we'll leave it to you. Thank you. So, Kolenkhof, you say the second 5-year plan is a failure?
Catastrophe. And wait until they try the second 5-year plan. But they've done
I'm hungry. What's for dinner?
Oh, they're marvelous, Mr. Kirby. I can see them dance every night of the week.
They are, aren't they? But of course, just walking inside any theater gives me a thrill.
I hate to have it be over, Tony.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like something cold to drink?
Wonderful.
I'll see what's in the icebox. Want to come along?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just the kitchen is enough.
I like it. You've done it very simply, haven't you?
Yes, we didn't know whether to do it Empire Neo-Grecian.
So you settled for frigid air.
Yes, it's very easy to live with. Lucky you're not hungry, Mr. Kirby. An icebox full of cornflakes. That sure gives you a rough idea of the Sycamores.
Of course, why they made these bottle openers for singer midgets, I never did. All over my coat.
I'll take mine in a glass if you don't mind.
There you are, a foaming beaker.
Anyhow, it's cold.
Now, if you'll please be seated, Mrs. Sycamore.
I am seated, Tony.
Oh, Miss Sycamore, to you.
To you, Mr. Kirby.
You know something?
What?
I wouldn't trade 1 minute of this evening for all the rice in China.
Really?
Cross my heart.
Is there much rice in China?
Terrific. Didn't you read The Good Earth? Well, I suppose I ought to go.
Oh, is it very late?
Very. I don't want to go.
I don't want you to.
All right, I won't. When do you get your vacation?
Last 2 weeks in August.
I might take mine then, too.
Really?
What are you going to do?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it much.
Going away, do you think?
Maybe. I like the city in the summertime.
I do, too.
But you always go to Maine, don't you?
Well, that's right. But I'm sure I would like the city in the summertime if... Oh, you know what I mean, Alice. I'd love it if you were here.
Well, it'd be nice if you were here, Tony.
You know what you're saying, don't you?
What?
That you'd rather spend the summer with me than anybody else.
Was I?
Well, if it's true about the summer, how would you feel about the winter?
I'd like that.
And then there's spring and autumn. If you could see your way clear about those, Miss Sycamore.
I might.
Well, that's the whole year. We haven't forgotten anything, have we?
No.
Well,
Is that you, Alice? Oh, what time is it? Oh, excuse me.